Okay, so anybody who's been with me a while on these demos knows that I'm always open about the fact that I make mistakes. And I usually, when I admit that, I add, and you will too. In this particular session, it's really, really weird. I mean, I got to a point, and it was 7 minutes into the actual video itself, but it's a little further in than that when you come to play the demo part here. But I added zeros to the bets when I was talking about them. There was a bet, for instance, that was 5,000, and I described it as 50,000, and the one before that was 4,700, and I described it as 47,000, which was sort of ridiculous. But anyway, like I say, I make mistakes. This was a horrible session in terms of the house beating my ass. The house was 11.2% ahead of me. I had, let me have a look now, 53 and a half wins and 67 losses. But I still came out with a win, as you can see, of 5,500, near enough. So, make of these things what you will. It's entirely up to you. Obviously, all I can do is put facts in front of you, give you a real-time demo over and over and over again, and just hope that somewhere out there is somebody who has the sense to adopt this strategy and stop losing. I mean, the more the merrier. I'd love to think it would be tens of thousands of people who could lead an assault on the casinos, who make way too much money, and they make it out of our weakness, our inability to control ourselves when we get into a casino environment. Anyway, enough of that. I'll let you get on with it. Hello again. Okay, so I'm back with the Wiz at his blackjack table, sim, whatever. I kind of think that I should be doing more with baccarat, but I like this game better. So what can I tell you? It's kind of silly, really, because I feel more afraid or more threatened by blackjack than I do by baccarat, which I suppose doesn't make a lot of sense one way and another. Because I think that bets have become, well, I don't know, I don't know. I guess it's one thing is about the same as the other, because what I'm trying to say is that I shouldn't feel more threatened by blackjack because the negative expectation is lower. It's somewhere between, well, let's say it's about minus a half of 1%, whereas it's sort of almost three times that at baccarat. But the thing that I was trying to say before was that the numbers in these games, the exact precise percentage of negative expectation is far less relevant, has far less to do with the millions upon millions upon millions, billions that gets left behind when people visit casinos and go home with their tails between their legs. It has much less to do with negative expectation than with bad play, ignorance, greed, stupidity, and drunkenness encouraged by so-called free cocktails. So, and I must say, the only thing that Vegas Matt has had to say lately, which I thought resonated somewhat, was when he said, "Don't have a drink when you're gambling," and he waved a bottle of, I don't know, Evian or something like that, and said, "Don't have a drink when you're gambling." And of course, he's absolutely right there. Yeah, that's a double down. It actually worked out. Good for us. I set a lot of store by double downs, actually. If they don't work, if a few of them in a row don't work, then I will go somewhere else. Because you really need those double downs to fall into place. So far, we're getting a very easy ride, aren't we? Oh dear, me and my big mouth. Oh, surprise! Dealer catch, as they say. Okay, I think we're going to plus max now. Okay, so we repeat that, see if we can get it back. And we did, with another dealer catch. So we're back to the min. And we double for the loss. And we double down. Oh dear. So that's 2, 3 third. Almost. Definitely. Minimum. Always go back to the minimum and start again. Double for the loss. Double down. That was a nice one. So we're back, oops, back to the min again. A double for the loss. 1, 2 third. Oh, that was a bit close. Okay, back to the min. Double for the loss. Yeah, I just, ever since it suddenly occurred to me that I should write to the Baccarat Win Pro guys or girls or whatever they are, and say, please do something with blackjack. I get more and more excited about it. I sort of think how great it would be, you know. Where, I mean, this is good. It has the running count and it has the decks left and it has the true count, and of course, you know, the running count is divided by the number of decks left to get the true count. But I think it could be a bit more precise than that, and the number of wins to the number of losses to date and the streaks and so on. They could track all that kind of stuff in exactly the same way as they do with Baccarat Win Pro. And of course the other thing is that it would be something that didn't have ads, like the ads that are so annoying on all of these recordings. They really are a pain in the arse. And I don't know, somebody could tell me if there's a way to get rid of them, but I can't figure it out. That looks like a double. Okay, that's like 3, 4, isn't it? Third. I think it's either 2, 3 or 3, 4, but we'll go for 3, 4. When in doubt, increase it. Oh, that was a bitch. 15, 16, and then he catches a 3. 3, 4, 7, 4 drop. That's a double down. Bummer. Okay, so that's 5, 4, because we had 2 out there. 5, 4. That was definitely a cheeky one, wasn't it? 1, 2. That was even cheekier. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second. 7, 8. Long grass all of a sudden. Oh! Tough luck up there, Wizard. 22, what a shame. Just think about it, that game in Vegas now, and I don't know whether it's anywhere else, it probably is, because those things spread like wildfire. Dealer's 22 is a push. I mean, can you imagine? I bet old Brandon O'Brien would love that. He'd say, oh, this is fun. If he can accept having all the 10s taken out of the deck, then he can certainly give a round of applause to Dealer's 22 is a push. What utter crap. Anyway, we're 1,125 ahead, very slowly because I'm wittering. Clear that, back to the min. Double for the tie. 51 second. 2, 3 third. Alright, back to the min. Double down. Close. +1 for the win. +1. Yeah, there are some things I like about this thing better than I do the other one, but mostly I think the okay, so that's 2, 3 third. Mostly I think the Baccarat platform, sim, whatever, has it over this one. Bummer. Alright, so we're at Double for the loss. Oh. Double for the tie. I don't think that's a repeat. Minimum. Double for the loss. 1-2 third. Ooh, 3-2 drop. Uh, 4-2. 5-2. That was a clever one, wasn't it? 5-2, 3-2, because we got 2 that time. 3-2, 5-4. Owie, 9-10, long grass again. Thank you. Didn't win much that time, but we did win. And there is a definite benefit to that. In my experience, winning is better than losing. 51 second. Another cheeky one. And look upstairs. I'm allowed flukes, Mr. Wiz. You are not. That's the double, isn't it? So it's 52. I think that's good enough for us to get back to the min. Double for the loss. One, two, third, again. Sorry, having mouse problems there. I think that's a winner. Back to the min. I do smile every time it says, do you want to stand on your natural? I think that's +1. +1 again. +1 again. Repeat it. So that's 3-4 third. It would be nice to get a 5 there, wouldn't it? 7-4 drop. We don't care about shuffles and stuff like that. 7-4, so that's 5-4. We won 2 that time. 5-4. Oh dear. 9-8. Ooh. 17. I think we better call that 17-20. Ouch. 37-20, so it's 2-2 drop. Oh boy. 2-2 drop. So now it's 3-2 because we just lost 1. 3-2. So now it's 2.5 2. That's got to be a double, isn't it? Well, that worked out. Had to put some money out there, but you know what? That's the game. It's what I'm always saying, and it's what people are always ignoring, and they have that right. So we're at 1-2 second. Oh, I got a good one and he got a better one. 1-2 second, 3-4 third. Maybe. Yep. We'll take it. say thank you, and move on back to the minimum. Yeah, with so many of these blackjack sessions, if you go through them and tot up the wins and losses, you'll find that I'm getting thrashed in terms of, you know, how many I'm winning versus how many I'm losing. But because I'm using this particular method of progressive betting, a sort of restrained or constrained or controlled, managed, whatever method of progressive betting, I'm winning more when I win than I lose when I lose. Sometimes I think that what I should do is I should just, you know, spend time with the editing program and put in a thumbnail at the beginning of each session saying how many bets won, how many lost, what the average bet, blah blah blah. But it's too much bloody work. Know what I mean? I think I did the wrong thing there. So I'm going to call it 3-4-3 because I lost track. Oh! 7-4 drop. So now 7-8. That's what we can do. Normally we don't do anything in response to a tie unless doubling the bet will give us a turnaround possibility. And remember, it's only a possibility. The likelihood is that we'll lose it because there's a negative expectation on every single bet. But we might get lucky. So now we're on 7-8. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. 7-8, we got 5 out there, haven't we? This could be horrible. It's horrible. So that's 47. It's got to be 47-48, hasn't it? So that's the bet. And it's only the second, I think. Oh well. So we had 95,000 in play there. And we came out ahead 3,000. So that's not a great return, but you have to allow that the imperative in any sensible game against these games with a negative expectation, any sensible approach has to make winning the priority, not protecting the bankroll. The bankroll has to be big enough to start with to be pretty much invincible. And you can have horrible things, and yes, that could have gone the other way, and blah 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 blah. But we have a lot of money behind us on these things, and now we're what? Only 3,000 ahead. But if we hadn't placed that bet and got the turnaround, then we'd be a lot worse off, obviously. Double for the loss. And some people like to say, yeah, but you couldn't go back to a minimum bet at that table after betting 50,000 or whatever it was. But that's not the point. Okay. That must be a repeat, right? Yeah, okay. So back to arse kick. 51 second. Repeated. Okay. Yeah, you know, people will always find ways to punch holes in any kind of strategy that threatens the superiority, the invincibility, the profitability of the casino biz. Double for the loss. And boy, they're out there and they're flipping 1-2 third, 3-2 drop in droves. 4-2. Oops. Sorry. What am I doing here? 4-2. Don't do that. I don't like all those words. Too many words. Is that 5-2? I guess it must be 5-2 now, mustn't it? 6-2. 8-2. 8-2 it is. Bugger me. 10-4. I shouldn't be surprised, should I? Uh, 10-4. 6-7. We don't need to double the bet. We only want 100. 6-7. 13. Let's call it 13-15. Oh, the whiz bust. Okay. Yeah, rounding up like that, that's entirely up to you. You know, I do all kinds of quirky little things, but I do follow the... I mean, once I'm under pressure, I follow it to the letter. I can't believe you did that to me, Wiz. That was just mean. So now we're on 1-2 third again. Uh, 3-2 drop. Oh, saved that one, didn't I? Lucky one. 3-2 it is. Oh, 5-4. Well, at least that time it lost. 5-4, so now we're left with 1-2. Three, 4. 2, 3, 4. 7, 8, third bet. Oh! 15-8, so 1.5, 1. Bum. Let's make that the drop. 1.5, 1. It's just tidier, you know. 1.5, 2, 1. 2.5, 1. 3, 1. 2.5, 1. That was a lucky one, wasn't it? 2.5, 1, so that's a half 1. We're not greedy. 1.5, 2. Second. Oh, you rat bag. 1.5, 2. That's already a turnaround, so we'll leave that alone. There we go. We got our moolah. Didn't make a lot, did we? Wait a minute, I think we're missing something. Didn't we get to 28,000? I think I've miscalculated somewhere along the way. Better repeat that bet, I think. Well, that was a little bit cheeky. But I don't control this sim. Anybody who disbelieves me can certainly contact Mike Shackelford, the Wizard of Odds, who would be very offended by the very idea that he's provided a simulation, a blackjack simulation, which is not completely accurate, completely fair, and safe from interference by outsiders, players, whatever. But anyway, we came away with a profit of roughly 5,500 at the end of that session, which was ridiculously fortunate, but that is the game. And I suppose I really should fly through these things and you know, maybe put into the just into the beginning of each description the number of wins, the number of losses, blah de blah de blah. I don't know, but it's a monumental task now because there's so many of these things online, you know. Anyway, we made 5,500 in less than 22 minutes, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging in there if you did, and if you didn't, well, what can I say?